I have some life hacks to share with you, and these aren't just any life hacks. These are hacks for a stress-free and smoothly running home. And these aren't ones that I've heard everybody talking about, so I think you might learn something new here. And speaking of a stress-free home, if that is something you're into, then you are going to love Get Organized HQ Virtual. You'll get access to over 100 sessions from all different speakers talking about everything from organization to decluttering, cleaning, meal planning, self-care, all those kinds of things. And the best part is that it's completely free to attend live. Just make sure you click that link below and go ahead and claim your free ticket. Now, let's dive into those hacks. We've all heard of inboxes like in our email box, or some of us have inboxes for paper, but I suggest that you have an inbox for basically everything in your life. Each closet and main area needs to have an inbox, like a pretty basket or something like that. So when new things come into the home and you don't have time to put it away right away, and let's face it, that happens a lot, you're busy, you just toss it in the inbox and then you can set aside a time when you can really deal with it. Now, if you have an inbox, you should probably also have an outbox. And this is also something that I like to put in each closet and at a minimum on each level of the home. And this is for things that you no longer need. So instead of waiting until a time when you can go through your closet or kid's closet or wherever and choose what you don't need, as soon as you say pick up an article of clothing and you know, I don't love this anymore, I'm not gonna wear it, stick it in your outbox. And then when it's time to go to Goodwill, go ahead and gather up all those outboxes and take them. Most of us have probably heard of using reminders on our phone to remind us of like when we need to pay an important bill or return something like that. But I have a special hack that will take these reminders to the next level. So instead of just saying, make sure to cancel this subscription, I give the reason why, and this motivates me to take action. So cancel this subscription or be charged $269. Which one are you more likely to do? So add that little motivation to your reminders to actually do them. One of the biggest time savers is instead of going to the grocery store and doing your own shopping, there's all sorts of delivery and pickup services, and many of the pickup services don't cost any extra money, which is amazing. And as a little bonus tip here, what I like to do is save my orders. So I can actually save an order, and if it's stuff that I normally have, or maybe it goes with a meal plan, then I can just go back to that and edit it instead of starting over from scratch. So this will save you time when you're selecting your order online. Let's face it, mornings can be pretty chaotic sometimes, especially when you need to get out the door at a certain time. But the secret to having a smooth morning is that it starts the night before. So anything you can possibly do the night before, go ahead and do it. Pack lunches, get bags ready, everything that needs to go, have shoes by the door, pick out the outfits, minimal stuff to do and minimal decisions to make the morning you leave. All right, this may sound a little shocking, but there is no rule anywhere that says that you must fold all of your laundry. So instead of folding everything, which takes a lot of time, maybe have a basket for all of your wash rags and just toss them in. Or those little onesies for babies especially are super hard to fold. Just put them in a basket and you don't even need to fold them. If you do nothing else to help keep your car clean and orderly, make sure you have a little trash can in your car. They make all types of these, and find one that works for you, because the last thing you want is like all these little wrappers and things. And I just don't know how it is that every time we're in the car, we seem to produce trash. So if you have somewhere that you can toss it right away, this is gonna cut down so much on how junky your car looks and how much effort you have to spend going and taking out all the trash and putting it away. Did you know that it is not at all necessary to save all of your papers? I'm not talking about just like store circulars and legit like trash papers, but even like paid bills and things like that, it is totally not necessary to save those. Most times these days, all these things are available to you online on the different platforms, so you have access to it there. And if you do need to save them, I highly recommend doing it digitally, either saving it from the platform or scanning it in. Now, if you're not sure about the whole process of saving some of your papers digitally, I have an entire course that covers that. I'll link to it down below. It's called The Paperless System. I cannot tell you how many times I have tried and watched tutorials and videos and practice folding a fitted sheet, and no matter what I do, it never looks amazing. So my trick is I don't fold my sheets. If you're gonna wash them, go ahead, do it first thing in the morning, put them in the wash, move them to the dryer, and then before you go to bed, put them on your bed, and then there's no need, you've eliminated the work and the need to fold your sheets. I do have one spare backup pair in case like we spill something or something in the middle of the night and we need them, they're there, but for the most part, I just don't even have to bother folding my sheets. If you're feeling overwhelmed with all the spaces you have to organize and all the decluttering you need to do, I highly recommend you give yourself one reset space. That means one space in your home. It does not need to be an entire room. It can be a closet, a shelf, a pantry, something like that, that you organize completely to your liking, even if everything else around you is a total disaster. And then you keep it that way and you can always come back there and reset. And usually that'll set off a positive chain reaction that you'll want to keep going and organizing more spaces. For me, that is the shelf here behind me. No matter what, like when I move in, it's the first thing I organize, even if everything around me is a disaster, which side note, it is at the moment, you can't see it off camera, but this space is always staying nice and organized. And if you're interested in having like creating yourself your own little beautiful shelfie like this, I have an entire handbook dedicated to helping you do that. I'll put the link to that down below. A great and super easy way to save money is to use Hoopla and Libby apps to download ebooks or audiobooks. So instead of having to purchase those, it connects to your local library and you can read all sorts of ebooks on your phone or iPad or listen to audiobooks. And I do this all the time. I love listening to audiobooks while I'm doing other things. It also saves time, so I highly recommend. The single biggest thing that I have done to save time in the kitchen when I'm preparing meals is to buy frozen pre-chopped vegetables, especially onions, because it takes a long time to chop up onions. And of course, then you get teary. I used to like do it in bulk and freeze them. And then I realized Walmart and lots of other stores sell them just like I would do it, pre-chopped. I don't think they're any more expensive. And I just get them right out of the freezer when I want to use them. There's several other veggies. There's an onion and pepper blend that I use all the time, along with garlic. You can get them it already minced up in jars, and that just saves so much time when cooking, and it doesn't really add any expense. I love cooking chicken breasts, especially in my crock pot, and then shredding them up and either just eating it like that or on a bun with barbecue sauce or putting it in casseroles and all sorts of things, soups. But what I used to hate was how I had to shred it up. I felt like it took forever, and if you do it when it's hot, like it's too hot for your hands, but if you wait too long, it gets difficult to do. The best tip I heard is to shred it in your mixer. If you have a stand mixer, you can throw it in there. If you have a hand mixer, I just do it right in the crock pot. It shreds up super fast. It gets it a lot more shredded than it would otherwise, and it saves so much time. When it comes to packing for traveling, which let's face it, can sometimes take forever, this has been the #1 game changer for me, and that is have a duplicate set of toiletries and a makeup so that every time you're ready to travel, all you do is you take that, it's already packed, and you toss it in the suitcase. There's no running around and making sure you have your toothbrush and your deodorant and all the things that you need and all the makeup that you need. It's right there. And it doesn't really cost much more to have duplicates. These things are usually fairly affordable, and also you're going to use it anyway in that time frame. So this is a great idea for saving travel packing time. There is a type of clutter that I think we often don't think about. We're well aware of all the junk around our house, but have you thought about your digital clutter? Digital clutter is still clutter, even though it doesn't take up physical space. And one of the biggest culprits of this is photos. I mean, how many times have you taken like 32 photos of your kid blowing out their birthday candles? Never ever are you gonna hang up 32 of the same thing. Half of them eyes are closed or they're blurry or out of focus or something. And never are you even gonna put them in a family album. You're never gonna need them. So my biggest piece of advice here is about once a day or whenever you can, especially when you're waiting on things in the doctor's office, in a line, just take out your phone and just start deleting the duplicates. And you'll be surprised how just those few minutes of dead time will make your photo life so much easier. And when you go to find photos or you want to look through them, now you don't have all those duplicates to wade through. Now, one of my favorite organizing products are Photoboxes, but it might surprise you to learn that I rarely actually put photos in them. You would be surprised at how many different things you can store nicely in Photoboxes. Office supplies, rubber bands, paper clips, index cards, Post-it notes, little things for dolls, toiletries, candy, Band-Aids, I mean, the list just goes on and on. In fact, I have an entire video showing you all the different ways that I use Photoboxes. You can click the link below if you want to check that out. Now, you probably know that labels can make things look prettier. I love pretty labels, but they actually serve a really important purpose, and that is to help you put things away. And what else is really funny is that sometimes I label things that are like even clear, like you can see in them. And so it's not necessary to know what's in there. And you think, why would I bother to label it? Well, the reason is it truly does help you and your family members put it away, because it's just that extra signal to your brain that like, this is where this goes. And I will tell you, when something has a label on it, it just feels wrong to toss it into a bin when that's not the item. So it just really helps you, whether the labels are pretty or not, it really doesn't matter. It will help you put things away. One of the things that can really help a space look really tidy and organized is when the bins are all matching. Instead of having completely mismatched bins that are different colors, different styles, when they're all matching or only 2 or 3 different types grouped together, it makes it look really tidy. So to achieve this, my number one piece of advice is to buy as much of the same bin as you can and avoid using different bins everywhere. So I use some of these same bins on my shelf, behind me, in my kids' rooms, in my pantry, in my garage, even in my car. So I'm limiting the number of bins that I'm using in my entire home, and that way they mix and match easier. So if someday I want to move things around, I don't have a specific type of bin for everything. And kind of along with this, I usually go with the neutral, timeless colors, because you often they will come out with seasonal colors that are really fun and pretty, but next year they're not going to have that color anymore, so it's going to be hard to get more of that color. So I go with the generic that I think I can get at any point. And if I had to choose just one bin, it would definitely be the multi-purpose bin. I use this everywhere. I have an entire video showing you like 40 plus ways you can use this thing, so you can go ahead and click the link below if you want to hear more about that. How many of us hate matching socks? And I also feel like for some reason, the washer, the dryer, somebody eats my socks, and I always have this huge stack of mismatches. So one way to solve that is to just have one type of sock for each member of your family. Bonus if they look pretty different from each other, especially if sizes are similar, and that way you don't even have to worry about it. You're just gonna match them up, and it's gonna make your life a lot easier and save you time. Now, I like using scrub brushes to like scrub out my sink. I also have one for dishes and it has like a little scraper on the other side, but it totally grosses me out if it just sits there day after day and gathers bacteria. I don't even really know how to wash them. So I put these in the top rack of the dishwasher. Now, use this tip with caution, because I haven't tried every possible type of different scrub brush out there to verify that none of them will be harmed in the dishwasher. But at least in the top rack of my dishwasher, they do completely fine. And then I 100% know that they are completely clean and not holding any bacteria. Everybody's charging bricks and AirPods look exactly the same. They're the same color, especially when we're traveling or like at a coffee shop, something like that. And so to fix this, all you need to do is put a little bit of washi tape on them, and especially if you have different members of your family who's always losing them, give each one their own color of washi tape and just put a little strip on, and it'll be very easy to tell that it's yours. The way that most people organize is to like take all the stuff that is in that space. Most people will get rid of what they don't need, which is an excellent place to start, and then they'll just start putting it all back in the way that makes the most sense. But this is actually not at all the most efficient way to do it. And I like to do what I call reverse organizing. I don't have time to explain it in this video, but there's just a little 4-minute video linked below if you want to learn my reverse organizing process that I think will be a game changer for organizing those frequently used spaces. Sometimes people ask me how I store my out of season clothes, and the answer is I don't. I literally keep all the season's clothes all in my closet all the time. And there's a few reasons for this. First of all, it just simplifies your life if you're not having to like bring things in and out of storage or something like this. I did this even when I had a small closet. And also, I live in the Midwest where like there's only about 2 months out of the year where you truly need hot clothes and where you truly need cold clothes. And about 6 months out of the year where it could be absolutely frigid or really hot, and a lot of times of the year in the mornings it's pretty cool, like you almost need your winter coat, but by the afternoons it's pretty hot, you're gonna need like short sleeves. So it's just a real pain to try to do this because there's not really like a clear point at which, okay, now we need to put away the summer clothes and get out the winter clothes. So I've just found it simplest to keep them all out all the time. My other piece of advice with this is that I like to use a lot of pieces that kind of layer on. So often I'll take an outfit that I would wear in the summer and I just put a denim jacket or something like that over it. So that way I don't need a ton of winter clothes. If you don't do this already, you should totally keep a running grocery list. So instead of waiting until you go to the store and thinking of everything you need, have a running grocery list. We use our Alexas that are all throughout our home. So any of us, even our kids who are 7 and 9, when they are getting close to running out of something they need, they can just say, hey, Alexa, add applesauce pouches to our shopping list. If I'm running out of shampoo, anything like that. So that way, when it's time to go to the store, I then have a list of everything that everybody needs, and I can just look around and add whatever I need to it. Now, if you don't have something like an Alexa, that's fine. Make sure you have it somewhere centrally located where everyone in the family knows where to go and write down whatever they're almost out of that they need. When it comes to entertaining and hosting company for meals, it is super helpful to have like a go-to meal that this is what you do anytime you're having company and you can't think of anything else. For my family, it is pulled chicken. So all I have to do is take some chicken, put it in the crock pot in the morning. All I do is put some salt and pepper and maybe a little bit of seasoning on it, have it on all day, and then I just shred it up with my mixer. And then usually I also have buns and some different barbecue sauces, so that way people can put whatever sauce and eat it with a bun. I also like that it's so versatile. I mean, it's gluten-free, dairy-free. If you just want to eat the chicken, you can. If you want to add sauce, you can. If you want to eat it with a bun, you can. So that's our go-to, but you can find your own go-to or just take ours. And really and truly, even if you literally serve this every single time you had company, rarely do I have like the same company every single week. So they're not getting it repeated all the time. And even if I have someone over and then I have them over again 6 months later, it's not like they feel like they just ate it. So it totally works. So I highly recommend just getting your go-to, and then it's gonna be super easy to cook for company. We all have to deal with clutter hotspots. It's like these things are just a magnet for clutter, especially like flat surfaces. You'll just see things starting to pile up. Now, ideally, you'd have a system and you have somewhere that they go and everyone would put them away. But sometimes you try to create these systems and no matter what you do, it seems like this clutter still piles up. The best thing to do in that case is put a basket wherever people are already putting the clutter. Make it as easy as humanly possible. If I'm already tossing something right here, it's no harder to toss it in the basket, and that'll get it corralled and give it a spot. If you want even more great ideas, I've gotten together with a bunch of my organizing friends. We've all made videos, so be sure to click the link below to check them out. Everyone participating is a Get Organized HQ virtual speaker, and make sure if you haven't already that you click the link below and get your free ticket today.